All right, so with our handsome Mr. Teddy, he's having a little drink of water. Nice check-in. Are you trying to eat your saliva? Oh my goodness, you lost your snack. So we're just gonna warm up with our typical, maybe a few find its with name recognition. Teddy, come. Nice job. With, of course, a little bit of a recall, obviously, I threw in there. So ready? We'll do another little find it. Teddy, come. Nice job. Yes. So smart. So I wanted to work a little bit with some loose leash walking tips. So while I'm blabbing, I'm going to do a couple just little find its to get them up and moving, get some energy out before we start really diving into these skills. So I know you had mentioned, obviously, he's getting to be gigantic. He's just about almost 5 months old and he's like over 70 pounds. So I would still highly recommend that if he's doing a lot of pulling, it's again, typically the environment is what's going to drive behavior. So he's either overstimulated or overwhelmed, or he may be seeing things that are very intriguing and be very interested in them and therefore wanting to get to them. So since he is a baby, I would still recommend to stick to softer, shorter distances. So you're not getting so far away from the home that on your attempt to go from one spot to another, there's a lot of either distractions or triggers, or that, for example, he's getting in the rhythm of pulling a lot of the walk. So remember, pulling is reinforcing in itself. So pulling equals more pulling. So I would recommend, I know we've worked on creating a front, like rotating him from being in front of you to then being to the front of your body. So like, let's say, for example, we're going to do some loose leash walking without the gear on for starters. So this would be things I'd work on in the home, in your yard, and of course in and around the front of your home with, of course, a leash if he were in the roadway and not a fenced in zone. So right here, he could be next to me and I'm feeding for being by the leg. That's going to be really crucial for building up value and being by the side. We might dive into another, what's called a pattern game. These are things that were also included in your other puppy classes prior. There are some examples of pattern games. I'm just going to send him away with a little find it. So pattern games are, again, designed for dogs that sometimes at times feel big emotions, be it woohoo to oh no, but it's also great from puppies to adults and everything in between. So we're going to maybe dive into the 1, 2, 3 pattern game. Remember that a lot of these things are not necessarily skills you're going to use forever for everything, but it's a really great way to start. So sometimes your foundation behaviors are, again, just that. It's a foundation and you build on top of it. So right here, while he's next to me, I'm just going to go right into a front, which is bringing him back into the front of my body. Even if he's sitting or standing, the main goal, I just want him to go from being by my leg to now the side of my body is over here again. And then we could start once more on our walk. So getting him to be comfortable from being on my side to then in front of me can be helpful. So let's say there's going to be a distraction, like your neighbor poked out, you could go into a front and bring your puppy in front of you and feed them for now facing you versus the distraction. You could then go into another little skill, like you might do a look or a watch me, hone in on some nice contact with you, some focus with the eyeballs, and then yes to feed. But then let's say I wanted to continue on my walk. I would then, for right now, lure him and get him into the rhythm of going and setting up next to you so you can continue again. So ready, let's go, or with me? Whichever slogan you're using, with me, let's go, heel, whatever seems comfortable. Nice. So with some of the pattern games, these ones can be really helpful if you're finding that he is just simply pulling a lot. I know in class did you get that one? We've dived into the up-down game. We've dived into the ping pong game. Remember that a lot of the pattern games consists of orientation to you, the handler, from distractions later down the road. In the beginning, there are no distractions. So you want to do this in a very soft and comfortable environment first, build up the foundation to that behavior, and then implement some distractions or more sort of things that could be more real world for as the dog is doing really well. So, excuse me. So with this pattern game, this one's called the 1, 2, 3 pattern game. Some folks have done this for redirecting, seltzer is killing me today, for redirecting your babe from a distraction. In the beginning, remember, we don't want to pair it instantly with the real world situation or the moment we'd like them to perform. View it almost like you have to learn your dance moves at the studio before you go out on stage for a competition. If you don't know what you're doing and go right on stage, you're more than likely not going to have a good time, maybe, but you're not going to do well in the sense of getting those points. So for him, we want to make sure that if he doesn't quite know what we're doing, trying to rock something new in the real world setting is maybe too challenging. So with this pattern game, you're going to either pick 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, do, re, mi, or something that you guys would rather. I'm just going to do the 1, 2, and 3 and start from that one. If you want to change it, you can. So we're going to do what's called like loading the let's say like the number 3. So what that means is every time he hears that third number, I'm going to feed him. So I'm just going to, in the beginning, go 3 and feed him. 3 and feed him. And I'm ripping up those little chicken snacks and his Bill Jack treats into little pieces. 3 and feed. 3 and we're feeding again. He says, this is delicious. 3. He's like, this is the greatest game ever. So what we're doing is we're building a lot of value in the third number. This is not going to be like what some parents will do where you're counting down as you're getting agitated because they're about to get into trouble or lose out on something. This is more you're creating connection through doing a countdown. So you would eventually go 1, 2, 3, yes. 1, 2, 3, yes. In the Control Unleash pattern game, they do have like a little dance, not a dance that you have to rock, but they would do, for example, 1 is by the pouch, 2 is in the pouch, 3 is giving the food. So you could go 1, 2, 3, and you'd offer the food. 1, 2, 3, and we feed again. 1, 2, and then 3. So when you start to add this with movement, for some dogs, this makes a lot of good, helpful sense for loose leash walking. So let's say, for example, we're going to start it off stationary again. So we're just going to start from square 1. So the way we would start this off is I'm just going to go 3 and then feed. 3 and feed. He says, this is great. 3 and then feed. He's like, where'd it go? 3 and feed. So now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's like, okay. So then what you'd end up doing, maybe he has to go get a drink of water. So then from that position, you would start adding, let's say, letting him get distracted, and you would see if you can start counting and then see if when he starts hearing you counting, he comes in for a check-in. So again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can see I'm not really doing my dance. I just have my snack ready. It's whatever makes sense to you guys. 1, 2, 3. And typically you'd mark it with a little YES when you're giving the food. But again, if it's one more thing to think about for right now, he's still realizing that he hears the number, the last one, and he gets a bonus bit. 1, 2, 3. So we've done this now stationary for a little while. Let's say he gets distracted. I might go 1, 2, 3. Yes. And then feed him for coming towards me when he heard the countdown. So again, I'm going to do it again with him in front of me for warm up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. So now we're going to add some movement. So I'm just going to get up and start walking. And I might go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, chew them. He's like, hold up. Good? Okay, good job. Poor thing. So hard to chew snacks in class. 1, 2, 3. And I'm not saying that you're going to be walking around like a crazy person, which is fine if you do enjoy counting. Walking around your neighborhood constantly doing 1 through 3. But if, let's say right now, your puppy and you are not really creating this connection, he's bringing the toy over, I love it. Is that a toy? That's so exciting. He's like, let's just do this instead. And that's fine. We can always take breaks. So it's one of his favorite toys here. So even when he's playing with his friends, he puts that in his mouth and he like runs around with them, which is perfect because sometimes when your puppies are playing, they're too mouthy and they're working on it. But the nice thing about having this toy is it keeps his mouth busy so he can still frolic and wrestle, but he's not assaulting his friends the whole time with his face. Still normal, and oh, it makes funny noises. So, but let's say you're trying this pattern game of the 1, 2, 3 pattern game. You will want to make sure, he's like, hold up, my ball's talking. 1, 2, 3. And he's like, ball might be the winner. So if, let's say, we're implementing it, oh, but good job checking in. Ready, Teddy? Thank you for checking in. There's going to be moments where if something's brand spanking new for him, he's not going to be able to instantly use it the way we were hoping. Oh, thank you. He says, lady, throw the toy. All right, we can maybe play a little bit. We'll rotate through some playtime. Ready? Go get that bad boy. So if your babe, and again, I mentioned this earlier, you want to be flexible in your training or behavior plan. Nice job. If, for example, his only option was to do the 1, 2, 3 pattern game until it was perfection, you're more than likely going to ruin training for you and your puppy. Yes, good job dropping it. So now we're going to go, you ready? Go get that bad boy. So we might as well work a little bit with some fetch. So if there's moments where the 1, 2, 3 pattern game fails, it's more than likely it hasn't been mastered quite to the level we were thinking. So make sure that we still start off any of these new foundation skills. Ready? Drop. Yes, nice job. We want him to really start to create a good association with the foundation of the skill before we throw in distance, distractions, or different durations to different scenarios. So I love this toy. But if you're wondering, this is one of the chuck it balls. Oh, thank you. Are you pooped out? Do you want me to throw it? He's like, not sure yet. Maybe we'll just veg. So if, for example, he really likes this one, it's the chuck it, but it's a giggle ball. So like it makes laughy sort of weird sounds as it moves. You do have them as an option that are quiet. So if you don't love the noise factor, you don't have to get it. I think he in general just likes the feel of the toy. So you don't have to add more noise to your home front if it's already too many things. This is really pretty. So maybe for a moment, we'll take a break from the pattern game. We'll take a little breather from our ball, but maybe we'll work a bit with our stay for a few moments, and then we'll give the handsome guy a little break. So I'm going to go ahead and tell him to stay, and I'm not going to add tons of distance, but I might add a little bit of movement and see if he can hold his downstay for a few reps. So if in the beginning this was really hard for him, I would not be adding so much distance or movement if it was too challenging. Just like I did earlier for Mr. B, he first started off working those place behaviors and was very close to the handler, and eventually we added in more distance, distractions, and other difficulty. Yes. This is the greatest day of his life. I know, I bet they all go home so nice and tired. And then too, guys, throughout the weeks, I know some of you have just mentioned here and there a couple of things to work on, which we're diving into. But as we progress, feel free to let me know if there's different topics or behaviors or skills that you were hoping to get sort of some work done with. And then we can make sure that we're, again, hitting those topics. So right here, yes. So remember with like these gorgeous stays, we're feeding the babes for being stationary, not for leaving. So, but let's say I want to end the stay duration. I'm going to go ahead and feed him his last morsel for holding this really nice downstay. I'm going to tell him he's ready, Teddy, all done. And then we can get up and wiggle and we can break from our position and then we could play again. So when it comes to our handsome guy, good job, Teddy, is I would recommend to work it in little increments. Ready? Go get that bad boy. So that way your puppy doesn't, slime factor's legit now with the St. Bernard coming out. So make sure that you're having fun together, because if training, ready, drop, so close. He's like, lady, but I want snackers to let go. Nice. So are you ready? Go get it. So that when you're practicing, if you're very rigid in your plan and you're not really having a good time, either of you, you're not going to want to do it again later. So make sure your training stays easy, attainable, fun. Nice work. Ready? We'll get a little sit. He's like, oh, my brain's melting. He's like, no, I couldn't possibly. Oh, yes. Nice job. Very good. You ready? We'll do one more. He's like, this is one of his favorites. Ready? Go get it. Two, when you are playing fetch, I would make sure that it's in an environment where there's a lot of good traction. Because oh gosh, he's going to crash. Oh, good. I thought for sure right into the camera. He went right under practically. The ball did. So if you're playing fetch, make sure that it's not high intensity in the sense of like crazy reps with a ton of really rambunctious running and stopping and pivoting, because that is a really great way to potentially injure your puppy and even adult dog. Plus, fetch should not become so hyper fixated that it's almost like a compulsion or almost like an addiction. It is fun to play with your dog, and I think that's important. Good job. But we don't want to turn it into a OCD sort of situation. Otherwise, nice job. Thank you. Otherwise, then play is not necessarily healthy, but more almost like a compulsion. And we don't want it to be kind of an obsession where they could hurt themselves not knowing when enough is enough. So we should make sure it's still staying soft enough, you know, that the puppy or the adult dog is not going to injure themselves. Nice. Ready? Oh, thank you for dropping it. Oh, you better go get that bad boy. Ready? Go get it. Mr. T is really doing a very nice job. So we'll probably give him a little breather after this one and rock a few more little skills. But all the lovelies are doing a really nice job for day number 1 of this round. Good job. We'll do a little find it. But Mr. T is killing it. So very nice work.